The laughter that died. The laughter in courtroom 4B was sharp, cruel, and echoed off the polished mahogany walls. It came from Aroma Thorne, a man worth over $3 billion, Silicon Valley's golden boy, the so-called genius behind Thorne Dynamics. He was laughing at his wife. Across the room stood Andrew Thorne, alone at the plaintiff's table. No elite legal team, no expensive consultants, just a simple gray suit, tired eyes, and a single battered manila folder clutched in her hands. Aroma's lawyer, Sophia Valente, the most feared divorce attorney in California, leaned over and whispered confidently, "This will be over before lunch." Everyone believed it. They thought they were watching a lamb walk into a slaughterhouse. What they didn't know was that inside that folder was 10 years of quiet documentation, and Andrew wasn't here to beg. She was here to end him. 3 months earlier, Chicago. The humiliation didn't begin in a courtroom. It began on a humid Tuesday night in Chicago, inside the private dining room of Lear, the most exclusive restaurant in the city. Crystal glasses, sterling silver, white roses, and silence. Andrew sat across from her husband of 12 years, Aroma Thorne. It was their anniversary, or at least she thought it was. Aroma checked his gold Philippe watch for the 3rd time in 5 minutes, scrolling endlessly through his phone. "You haven't touched your wine," Andrew said softly. Aroma finally looked up. His cold eyes flickered with amusement. "I'm not hungry, Ellie," he said, using the nickname he knew she hated. "And honestly, I don't have time for this charade anymore." Charade? Andrew froze. Aroma reached into his jacket and slid a thick white envelope across the table. Divorce papers. "It was our anniversary," he corrected calmly. "Now it's the day I reclaim my life." Then he delivered the final blow. "Chloe is 24. She understands the industry. She understands me." Andrew scanned the paperwork. 0 alimony, prenuptial enforcement, nothing. "You're leaving me with nothing," she whispered. Aroma smirked. "You signed the prenup. What's mine is mine. What's yours? Well, you don't have anything, do you?" He stood up. "I'm being generous by letting you keep the Toyota." And with that, Aroma Thorne, billionaire genius, walked out. The silence that terrified them. Andrew didn't scream. She didn't cry. She took a slow sip of the expensive wine he ignored. Then she made one phone call, not to a lawyer, to a storage facility. "Unit 44, she said calmly. "I need access to all archive boxes." The media circus. In the weeks that followed, Aroma made sure the world saw him winning. Galas, red carpets, interviews, Chloe on his arm. Business magazines praising him for shedding dead weight. Meanwhile, Andrew vanished. No social media, no interviews, no lawyers. That silence terrified Sophia Valente. "It's too quiet," she muttered. Then the court filing arrived. Andrew Thorne, self-represented. Aroma laughed so hard he wiped tears from his eyes. "She can't even program a smart TV." They thought this would be an execution. They were wrong. Day 1, courtroom 4B. Judge Marcus Sterling frowned as he scanned the room. On one side, Aroma Thorne, surrounded by lawyers, laptops, and power. On the other, Andrew, alone at the plaintiff's table. "Mrs. Thorne," the judge said, "are you sure you wish to proceed without counsel?" "Yes, Your Honor," Andrew replied calmly. "I believe the truth doesn't need an interpreter." Sophia smirked. Opening statements began. Sophia painted the story perfectly. Aroma, the genius. Andrew, the parasite. Then Andrew stood up. "I intend to prove only one thing," she said quietly, "that Aroma Thorne is a fraud." The room froze. The trap begins. For 2 days, Aroma dazzled the courtroom. Garage myths, sleepless nights, genius narratives. Then Andrew cross-examined him. You wrote the core nexus algorithm in 2012. Yes. Alone? Yes. Andrew calmly produced credit card statements. Vegas, hotels, casinos, 3 weeks. The courtroom murmured. That's fine, Aroma snapped. I coded remotely. Andrew nodded. It doesn't matter where you were. It matters where the computer was. And she sat down. The trap was set. Day 4. The box. Andrew walked in carrying a cardboard box. I call my first witness, she said. Dr. Aris Thorne, Aroma's estranged brother, MIT professor. The lie shattered instantly. Who wrote the nexus algorithm? Andrew asked. Aris pointed at Andrew. She did. The courtroom exploded. Sophia demanded proof. Andrew smiled and opened the box. Inside was an old laptop. The ghost in the code. This computer wrote the code, Andrew said. Aroma laughed. My servers have my digital signature. Yes, Andrew replied calmly, because you copied it. Then she explained the Genesis key, a creator's ghost. The judge allowed the test. Aroma typed, access granted, verification required. He froze. I don't remember. Andrew stepped forward. She typed, my life is yours, Andrew. The screen changed. A video played. Andrew, younger, exhausted in a garage. Aroma asleep behind her. Her voice echoed through the courtroom. I'm giving this to him. I hope he never forgets who made him king. The screen flashed. Primary architect, Andrew Thorne. The billionaire collapsed. The verdict. The prenup was void, fraud, perjury. The assets, hers. The company, hers. The shares, hers. The judge forwarded everything to the DA. Aroma Thorne screamed. Andrew didn't flinch. The Toyota. As Andrew passed him, Aroma begged, I have nothing. Andrew placed a single key on the table. You can keep the Toyota, she said softly. It has a full tank. You'll need it. And she walked away. Epilogue. 1 year later. Thorne Dynamics was gone. Rebranded. Genesis. Ethical tech. Privacy first. Andrew Vance, using her maiden name, stood on stage. We removed the lies and fixed the code. The applause was real, not fear-based, not forced, earned. Final scene, Chicago. Rain tapped against the windows of Lear. Andrew sat at the best table, champagne in hand, free. Aroma Thorne, federal prison, teaching basic coding to inmates. Andrew smiled. She wasn't a survivor. She was the architect. Ending. YouTube call to action. This isn't just a story about revenge. It's a story about quiet power. So tell me in the comments, DIY case. Would you have forgiven Aroma? Have you ever been underestimated and proven everyone wrong? If you enjoyed this story of justice served cold, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the long game always favors the patient.